Duck It Fishing, pro-driven rods, reels, and baits, the choice of champions. Check out duckitfishing.com to see what everybody's talking about. Duck It Fishing, pro-driven. Kelly Jordon shared a magic moment with us recently following his win at Lake Eufaula. It was a Major League Fishing Invitational win. Listen to what Kelly has to say about the homework that he does before an event using Google Earth, and then listen to the way he protects this sacred water that he found. It's a great story, and you're going to enjoy listening to this. Plus, Kelly uses the word extrapolate in this video. I don't know that I've ever heard a Bass Pro use the word extrapolate. Check it out. In some of the post-event articles I've read, you credited your pre-tournament research. I'd like to hear a little bit more about what that is. Tell us about your pre-tournament research.
So the study I did was Google Earth and satellite finishes. I mean pictures and the going back in time. Looking at the older photos, trying to find the research, and hopefully you can hit a time when maybe it was during a flood or a drought, and kind of gives you an idea where there might be pockets of clear water somewhere where you wouldn't think to look. Also, just looking for, trying to get the character of the lake. And a lot of stuff I look for is just little stuff, little bitty deals off the beaten path, just subtle things that might be missed and, that you could take advantage of. And did a lot. I mean, I spent a day and a half pretty much in my office just scouring that and looking for just any kind of deal in case. So I'd be prepared when I got there for any water level. That's why I did that.
Well, you clearly found something special this past week, and did you see that on Google Earth? Is that what led you to
Pretty much. You can't really see it, but you can intuitively know it's there. Because I do this most season. I mean, most pro that we do this. It's part of our study, part of our homework. Wasn't really visible, but it kind of was if you looked around it. And I kind of expected that there might be something there, and there was. And it wasn't. I wasn't sure it would be there, and I did have to look for a while, but I did find it. And when I did finally see it, it was not really where I expected it to be, but it was just kind of like a wow, look at that. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, they're going to be there.
Okay, so tell us, what was it that you found?
I found rocks in a place where no one would ever know there was rocks if they didn't know to look there. And they are not visible in any Google Earth photo that I found because there was never anything with the water low enough to see that, except maybe a little more shadow there. Maybe whatever. But there were some surrounding features that led me to believe there might be something in that area. And I just looked. I mean, again, it's a little bit of geography, I guess. And I'm not a geography major or anything like that from college or anything, but you see stuff. There's rock veins continue, different features. Kind of sometimes there'll be a different place of them out there. You can just kind of extrapolate some stuff, and so I just off the wall stuff. And I looked for off the wall stuff because I knew that it might fish really small if the water wasn't high, and it did. There was people everywhere on some of the really good stuff. It was obvious.
Well, I find that fascinating. The whole idea of using the Google Earth. I get the concept of how it's used, but to hear you talk about what you saw and what you thought was probably there, that's pretty good stuff.
And I really liked my plan, and I liked the stuff that I had, and I had a plan of how to move through it. I had some timing with it as well, and it did not go according to plan because I didn't catch much at all at my first stop. I caught a 7-pound limit, if you can believe that. It was terrible.
That's quite an accomplishment to catch 5 for 7. That's pretty good.
Yes, I was very disappointed in and I had never seen one that small in practice, and I was catching those fish a lot on mostly in squarebill, and it was a lot more off-color water than where I ended up catching most of my fish. That was disappointing, but I kept running my stuff, but at the same time, this stuff that I had found on the lower end in the clear water, I was very confident in it because it was so awesome looking. And I knew I would figure it out better in the tournament. But when I found it, and I waited until there was no one in eyesight because it's kind of offshore, but it's not. Uh, I just played defense really hard. I got there and made 2 casts with an open hook. I was, going to hook one of them. I didn't catch one my first cast. My second cast, I caught a 4.5 pounder.
That's not where you ran to at the start of the first day. You went there
No,
later.
I ended up getting there about 12:30 ish the first day, maybe 1 o'clock, and there were a couple people around in the area fishing. Some of them may have been high school people, but I kind of stayed way away and watched it because I had some other stuff close. And as soon as everybody filtered out and there was no one around, but I pulled up and in about 10 or 15 minutes, I caught 4 fish in cold. Every fish I had that wasn't the 3-pounder. And I quit. I said, I have almost 17 pounds. And it was so exciting because I had been struggling all day with little fish. And I catch 4 good fish, 3.5 pound average. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, now day 2, how did that unfold? Did you go straight to those fish on day 2,
No.
or did you save them again?
I ended up getting down to, my hot, area that I found. So I went over there and immediately started catching. I caught 17 pounds, 15 ounces by noon, so an hour and a half. And then the wind turned. That's when our big front came through. And the wind started blowing 30 miles an hour. And I never had another bite.
Now, day 2, I watched quite a bit of the broadcast on Major League Fishing Channel, and it was funny because Marty Stone, nobody could see Kelly Jordon catching fish because you didn't have a camera in your boat. Marty Stone said, his voice. I bet you Kelly's found himself some sight fish. I think that's what he's probably doing. If I know Kelly Jordon, he's sight fishing, and so I know Kelly Jordon too. He probably is sight fishing. So when we saw you on day 3 with a camera in your boat, throwing reaction baits, I'm like, whoa, this is not what Marty Stone made me think.
And that's exactly why you do what I did. And I mentioned it during the day fishing on the third day. I said, man, I played a lot of defense in this tournament, but you can't win playing defense. You got to play offense. And I was questioning the way I had managed the fish I had because I was so excited about what I had found because it was so good. There was at least 2 schools in this area of big fish, and but the bottom line was I could not wait for the third day to get there because I wasn't going to be dumb anymore. I was going to run straight there, and I'm going to sit there all day, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
So
22 pounds. Were you a little concerned when the wind was blowing hard on that last day?
Yes. So the last day, regardless, I knew exactly where I was going, exactly where I was going to, hang my hat, and we were going to see what happens. And a big part of that was, and this might have been a thing that helped me win as well, is I had a 6-pound deficit. I knew I had to catch big ones, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Only chance I had was to catch big ones, and there's only one place I knew that had them for sure, and that was that one area. And it's a big area. It's 300-400 yards across with some really good rock piles and rock veins, some shallow water, some a little bit deeper water, a couple pockets. It's got it all, and it's all right in one area. But there was shad there. I actually caught 2 shad that morning on my vibrating jig. I mean, they got hooked on the big hook. And they were 3 inches, the same size as my vibrating jig. And I'm like, I know they got to be here, and they were. And I caught just what I needed. That was the most amazing thing. I'm like, why am I not getting bit? Why not getting bit? 30 minutes into the day, why am I not getting bit? There's shad up here everywhere. Finally, I get a bite. Guess what? It's a 5-pound. That's what you need to come back from 6 pounds down. I'm like, hey, there's one. 4 to go.
Absolutely.
A little while later.
Camus Boats, from the mind of Earl Bentz. Excellence, tradition, and service, all part of the Camus advantage. On the water perfection. This is your next boat. Build your next boat at camusboats.com. I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass Tour Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.